So, hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Turn 5 podcast. And I've been waiting a long time to say this because November was such a long time ago, but cars are back on track this week. Woo!
Technically, we've had cars on track last week as well.
Shakedowns don't count. The public can't watch shakedowns.
Tell that to the Alpine images on Twitter. Way.
But they can watch Formula One pre-season testing, which is finally here, but more on that later. We'll keep going through the normal calendar events as they happened, starting off with the Ferrari team launch, which was actually good this year, unlike previous Ferrari car launches.
I want to say you were banging on about how Mercedes are like, ha, here's the car, and then the next day go out on track. Ferrari just did one better. They went, here's the car, and here's the car, which is mighty impressive.
It is.
But also, can you imagine how nervous those mechanics were? What if it breaks down? It's only going to do like 2 laps, but what if it breaks down?
Or in Mercedes' case, on the Wednesday, well, the Thursday, what if it doesn't start properly?
Yeah. Anyway,
we go live now to the track where we're going to show you the car. No, it's no work.
Please give us 20 minutes to actually have a look at this. We'll come back to you.
We're checking.
That's a Ferrari job.
But yeah, no, it was actually quite good. And the car looks quite nice. Richard, if you would do the honors. There it is.
Where's the FI logo?
Yes, that's what I noticed actually. In the 3 car launches we've had since the last episode, I couldn't find the FIA logo on any of them.
Oh, really? Ooh, that's a new game to play today. What I will say is I very much like this Ferrari car.
I do. It looks good.
I think I've got 4 angles of the Ferrari.
I like it, apart from the bit of carbon on the side pod.
This bit?
Yep. It annoys me so much.
Yeah,
it does look quite random. It's
not very cohesive. I can understand why they've done it to break up the 3 logos, but I would have maybe done it in a different way.
Yeah.
The only other thing I would have done differently, do you remember the yellow Ferrari writing that they ran in Monza last year on the black rear wing? I would have run that.
I'm just happy they used the old Ferrari logo on the rear wing.
With the 3 logos, it would have been a bit better if they'd put like Ray-Ban and Shell next to each other and then put that one just at the end to just like.
I'm gonna guess it's some kind of sponsorship payment thing that I paid to be in the middle. I'm in the middle.
Yeah, they should make the right in a Ferrari yellow on Carlos's car and keep it white on Leclerc's car.
It would be quite a useful way to tell the difference between the 2 cars, actually.
Well, I mean, but then, you've got the Spanish flag in red and yellow and the Monegasque flag in red and white. So I like that, but that's cheeky. Is that? No, that's probably not.
That's not it.
That's not the FIA logo.
Oh, my God. So we're pulling a blank on FIA. This one's not going to show it because it would be, like, in there.
Yeah. What about the next one?
I do like how this is now conjoined.
What about the next one? Oh.
I don't think it's on the car. At least not in the pictures that they've shown us.
The only spot that's really hidden is like under the suspension elements there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that would be behind the car.
4
the most
No.
The only bit that really disappoints me about this car. True.
What?
Yeah, on the suspension arm, #WeRaces1.
Oh, nice.
The only thing that really disappoints me about this car is the very bland wheel covers.
Yeah. Ferrari didn't do anything interesting with their wheel covers last year either.
No, and it's it's a bit disappointing.
Stick a horse on them, like just do something.
Just put the Italian flag colours or something.
Yeah. Could do that.
It should even just make them red.
Yeah.
Like, I know that's probably going to be a bit more weight than just black rims, but you know, make it red. Do something. So,
But yeah, no, I like the car.
overall, I very much like the car. I find this vent interesting here.
Yeah, I wonder what that's doing.
So the scalloped side pod is retained. They've got the double vent along the side. Yeah, it's interesting.
It seems like an interesting place to have cooling. Like
Mm.
you wouldn't really sit on the back of the side pod traditionally.
Well, I mean, it's all just exhaust vents, isn't it? So
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't have a perfectly rearward facing angle, but the bit around the actual exhaust has tightened up a bit, so there's less actual exhaust at the back of the car, and there's more
The
coming out the
Ferrari
side.
exhaust brought to you by Bang and Olufsen.
Yeah,
Specially designed to provide good acoustics.
but hey, I mean, I'm not against that.
Yeah, true.
But I guess what
yeah,
they've
no,
done there is they've moved more air to flow over the car to give them better downforce in this section.
yeah, through the rear wing.
And instead of just straight out the back and through the middle. So,
and that's when they show up to Bahrain next week with a completely different car.
But overall, that I'm just very happy that they've kept this Ferrari logo. I like the sort of exposed carbon look of the rear wing with the number. I feel like that works really well in a contrast.
They've rotated it from last year, so it was red going into black rather than black going into red on last year's car. So I quite like just that subtle change.
I feel like the numbers will be a lot easier to read now. Because,
yes,
the numbers are very clear.
Yeah, the numbers
differentiate
pop.
easier between black and white and black and red.
And there's some definite aero elements going on with these supports here, aren't there?
Oh yeah.
There's a strip. Another thing that's annoying me with the halo. There's a strip of black coming off the halo, going through the logo. It's slightly annoying me.
Oh, what, this bit? Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Should have just ended at where the halo meets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we look at the next car?
Yes, let me just. It was the
Mercedes
black one next.
Yes.
He says frantically panning through his photos. It's a lot of McLarens. There it is. I love how it's still on Zoom. It's
it was like
Ferrari.
last week where it was like, let's look at the one. I think it was the McLaren. You just brought up the Red Bull. So
yeah, I just pressed one too far.
Again, wheel covers. They could have said
something.
Yeah,
wheel covers boring.
Yeah.
I get it. The black car is,
Yeah, it fits, but they could.
At least they've got the sort of like neon on the inside.
But they could have made it neon yellow to match the numbers.
A neon green with George's car.
Yeah.
Because
I
know they've done the sort of the nut area, but like do the disc, be bold.
I know last year they did the yellow and blue numbers for Ukraine, but I kind of wish they kept the blue instead of the green because I think it just looked a bit better.
Is that why they ran the yellow and blue numbers?
I thought that was why. It could have just been they were doing that anyway.
I think that was just the driver's choice, to be honest.
Yeah, Lewis was going back to his karting helmet color.
Yeah,
Lewis was always neon yellow. It was George. It was blue, wasn't it?
Yeah, Valtteri was blue before George as well. So
yeah,
I saw someone say, I must have seen someone say they did it for Ukraine, so I didn't notice it before. I mean, it worked still.
There's a lot of carbon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least they can get away with it. Because when it's going past, you won't see the carbon necessarily.
Yeah. What I want to know is, we've seen the trend of scraping off paint. More exposed carbon means essentially we're going to end up with cars that are less identifiable. Yes, most of them, okay, we've got the McLaren. Yes, it's still very vibrant. There's a lot of exposed carbon. And we've got the Haas. that's black. It's not necessarily as much exposed carbon. There's a lot of paint still on there.
That
Hello.
could change.
It could change. They could just scrape off
Probably
around
will.
it. The Ferrari has an amount of carbon, but it's
It's
largely
not a
red.
lot. Yeah.
The Aston Martin
It's
is
got
largely
none.
green, but the bottom half has a lot
yeah.
of carbon. We'll come on to that monstrosity. The Alpha Tauri's bottom half is the carbon. The Alfa Romeo, a lot of carbon. Like we're
Also
seeing
a lot of black
Yeah.
on the Alfa Romeo.
but like all of this
And look, it's the FIA logo.
exposed carbon. All of that is exposed carbon. So, like, what I'm wondering is if to avoid this trend of teams just not having colours on the car, the FIA need to mandate that a certain percentage of bodywork needs to actually be covered in paint, not necessarily a coloured paint, but paint.
Yeah.
So Mercedes can still have their black car because you can clearly see it's got black paint. But it would avoid this whole we're just scraping off paint to save weight shenanigans, you know?
I think Mercedes took it to the extreme because of like the story of the Silver Arrows and stuff. Like where they did just scrape away the paint and that's where the livery came from. So that sort of makes sense.
I think
I like the black car as well. Like
Yeah, I'm not saying get rid of the
good.
black car. I have no problem with it. It's a really nice looking car. It's more the fact that all of the teams are heading in that direction.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I don't want to get confused between cars, especially for new people coming in. If the Haas keeps going the way of the Mercedes, we're going to end up with 4 Mercedes on the grid.
Going back to what you said about like teams should have a thing of paint. I think you know how they used to have the strip of color to identify like which drivers on which team and the race
timing column.
That's it. Yeah, I think they should have like McLaren is always orange, Mercedes is the blue. They've got there or the green.
Yeah,
or
it's the
whatever it is.
Petronas blue. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think they should have whatever color is on that timing screen. That should be on the car for a percentage of it, so people can identify, especially new people coming in. You can identify and see like that's McLaren, that's Ferrari, obviously, but like cars with similar colors, you'd be like
Petronas teal Mercedes. That'd be kind of cool.
I mean, like the problem is like, and we would need to go back similar to the old timing screen design because they don't really use those colors as much anymore.
You get what I mean. Yeah. I know they have the logos behind it and the colors behind that. So
I mean, Mercedes done that well last year. AMG.
Yeah, but like whatever color they have on the time screen, they have to have it on the car somewhere to make it identifiable.
Yeah,
because otherwise everyone's going to go like Haas and like I say you won't be able to tell the difference between Mercedes and the Haas, but you would because we'll be at the front, we'll be back, hopefully. But
shots fired.
Near disrespects the Haas.
Well, no,
disrespects Mercedes.
Yeah.
No FIA logo.
That I've seen yet, but you can see what I mean. Like, there's a very clear distinction between what is painted and what is exposed carbon.
At the back as well, I feel like they could have maybe made it a little bit lower because it just looks like they've just run out of paint.
they missed a bit, you know.
Yeah.
Quick stop! No more paint. I like the sort of faded stars at the back. It's certainly better than AMG Fest.
Oh yeah, anything would be better than AMG Fest. Let's be real here.
And I like that they've kept the red star as well.
That's
it's
always
just below the air intake.
Jesus! I didn't even notice that.
There's one on each side of the car as well. There's 2 on it this year.
Yeah, it's always you can car.
Just see it there, can't you?
Yeah.
And I'm glad it's always going to be on the car, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's good. Not a lot of sponsors on the Mercedes is what I'm picking up on.
I do find these front wings quite interesting as well. The fused end and then the
split at the back. That's going to be interesting.
Mm.
And
So,
a lot of the struts on different levels for the Mercedes front wing as well.
mm. There was some questions raised actually. If we go back to Ferrari, over these.
Yeah.
So the wording of the regulations was changed last. You remember Mercedes came to Austin maybe with a new front wing that they never ran in the race because they went, we're just not going to deal with the potential repercussions of being told we can't run this wing, so we're just not going to bother. So it was seen, but it was never ran. But the wording has changed since last year, because it was all about, what's its primary function? Because it's a splitter basically. It's a slot gap. It will keep the gap between the elements of the rear wing, so that the front wing, so that the air will pass as it's supposed to, no matter how much downforce is going through it, sort of thing. But obviously, these are also aero parts.
Aerodynamic advances.
Yeah. So last year, there were the wording of the rule meant that they could have been protested on that. This year, the wording has changed, and Ferrari seem to have jumped on that straight away.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of this in the first few weeks.
Mm-hmm. Even next week, if the Ferrari looks good.
Yeah,
this week.
if the Ferrari looks strong this week, then it might be a bit too quick for teams to do a turnaround to get it for the race, but maybe Australia.
Yeah, I think the team you would see arriving on first would be the Mercedes because they've basically got one sitting.
Yes, exactly. They can just take last year's one. I think they'd have to sort of hybridize last and this year's with this change here.
Yeah, the Mercedes front wing as well. If you pull up the front view,
yep,
it's very flat.
Yeah, it is. We've seen. I find it really interesting, the difference in like the sort of the profile of the top arc of the front wing, because over recent years we've seen this is pretty level in the middle, shall we say. But we've seen ones in years go past where the highest point is sort of in front of the tire, so it's almost deflecting it over the tire. We've seen it the other way round, so the highest point is near the nose. But
like, even pull up the Ferrari and just compare how flat the Mercedes one is compared to Ferrari's.
It's a bit of a different angle, but Ferrari has also gone pretty flat.
Yeah, true. What one? There was a car that I seen as you were flicking through that has a really
aggressive
high front wing.
That just seems really low.
Yeah.
That's also, a lot of teams are going low. Like, look at that. But you see what I mean? Like, this has a higher lip here towards the tire and one back towards the car, and a bit of a dip in sort of the middle where the Mercedes maintains a sort of almost flat structure.
You know, the front wing of the McLaren and the Mercedes.
Yeah.
There's like on top of the Velo, how you say it, logo. There's like a little thing, like a tablet looking thing on the side.
This thing.
Oh yeah.
What's that?
That is a sensor, I believe.
Yeah.
Pointing toward the tires for tire temp, etc., etc.
I was always wondering how they did that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a sensor.
Wouldn't surprise me. They fit them in everywhere. So sneaky. Like, they've got
the Mercedes
a couple
as well have kept it might also be turning vanes and stuff for the actual wing angles. The Mercedes have kept the sort of swooped bit on the outside of the front wings as well.
Oh, the dive-ins.
Yeah.
These.
Because there was a lot of thought that they would maybe be made illegal for this year, but apparently not.
No, there was change about it, but it's not. They haven't written out rules. You can't just it's not like you could have in the old days. You could have a lot of parts on it. It's like, I think if you can have one part.
Yeah.
So like we've seen it a lot on the cars.
Yeah, McLaren.
The McLaren have one dive. Has one. It's a bit hard to see, but it's a very different shape.
Yeah, it's down rather than up.
Yeah. Next is Ferrari. They've got a sort of an S almost.
Yeah, that's quite interesting, actually.
The interesting one about the Ferrari is it goes right up to the front leading edge of the wing. I haven't seen that on another team, and it's very early on the end. So I see that's we'll say probably an inch back.
And you do notice that the 3 Mercedes teams that we've looked at so far basically have the same
one, yeah.
Yeah.
Come back to that one. Again, one swoop and one swoop.
Yeah.
So.
And we don't look at the Red Bulls because that's last year's car.
Well, yeah, exactly. So that is one swoop anyway. If we go Red Bull, look, one swoop.
Yeah. But that is just the RB19, I think. Whatever it was.
I thought it was 19 this year.
Oh, well, the RB18 then.
I don't know. Something like that.
See, I thought it was the RB18B in 2021, and that's the RB19.
Oh, maybe.
And it's the RB20 that's about to race.
They're all the same.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? So, no.
No. But yeah, coming back to the W14, I know this car's name.
This year's RB19.
Okay. I like the little coloured flick on the wheel brows.
Yeah.
Just
nice identifiers.
Just an
that'll be really good for onboards.
Or like the rear wing camera looking back. When you sometimes get that in battles, where they show you just a backwards facing car. Well, the car facing backwards, you'll be able to tell exactly which car is chasing them.
Well, I mean, you'd hope the massive neon number would help, but
that's not always clear.
So, but no, I think for onboards that'll look good. Because sometimes they sometimes, I mean, the angle of it means that you don't often see the number on the front of the car. And there's usually a graphic where they put something over and it's like in the middle. So something slightly off to the sides might be beneficial.
What I don't like from a fan's point of view, the side pod numbers look really difficult to see.
Oh, yeah. I suppose because you're not really going to be at this angle, are you? You're going to be elevated if you're in a grandstand.
Yeah.
So you're probably getting more of that sort of angle.
Like the numbers can already be quite difficult sometimes, depending on what section you're in.
True.
So.
Also, I just noticed that they've done green on all the cars.
Yeah.
Damn. Lewis could have had yellow ones.
He could have.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I like the car. I won't lie.
Yeah. It's a nice car.
I'm glad that it's black. Because the admin on social media was teasing a black car for weeks, and I was expecting a silver one.
I mean, they didn't disappoint in terms of the fact that it was black. As soon as Mick put out the overalls, I knew it was going to be a black car.
But then didn't they race in black overalls last year as well?
I think so.
Hold on, let me look at my picture.
Maybe they might have done.
They did.
Well, I was confident anyway.
I checked my lock screen, which was George Russell winning in Brazil, and he's got a black race suit on. So,
well, I was confident it was going to be black when Mick put out the overalls, but that shows what I know.
Those wing mirrors look monstrous.
Yeah. We put a support beam on your support beam, so you can support beam while you support beam.
They look a lot thinner than other cars.
Have they gone, we're going to make our mirrors bigger by making them wider?
Squeeze.
Wide aspect ratio.
Wide mirror. But
I don't know, maybe they're not the final mirror.
So, Alpine.
First off, I'm going to apologize in advance. I'm apologizing on behalf of Alpine F1 for the fact that they only uploaded portrait images to Twitter because they're idiots.
Is there not ones on the F1 website?
That's
They
what I was about
won't.
to ask.
They won't load sideways. It's stupid.
So, yeah, can we get the side-on view, please? So we're not getting blinded by the sun.
Also,
I hate
the
it.
photos are heavily edited with filters and lighting, and it's
I don't like
the
it.
only thing I like is this pattern
That's cool.
Mm.
I like
and the way they've done the numbers.
I like how they've
Yeah.
kind of put it on the wheels as well.
At least they've done something with the
Yeah.
wheel covers.
True.
I do wish they'd put the numbers in a different place though, so it is easy to see when
Yeah.
they're going straight past.
Yeah, they're very badly positioned.
Yeah.
And I think
Well,
the pink on blue numbers on the front could be quite hard to read.
Yep.
Mm.
I hadn't even noticed them. Oh, 3110. Tell me you didn't have enough money to make 2 renders without telling me.
To be fair, who did we talk about? Ferrari done that too.
I didn't
They
notice.
had 55 on the back and 16 on the nose.
A lot
Okay.
of them do both numbers.
Yeah, I mean, just a lot of the ones we've seen have been like renders of like one Haas in particular. They did like 2 pictures of one number, 2 pictures of the other number. So
Yeah, but yeah, no, I don't like it.
no,
I don't like
this
the way they meld the colors. It's just it doesn't work.
I'm gonna say it. This is my worst livery of 2023.
Yeah, hands
I
down.
think for me it's too light of a pink, and the pink isn't metallic.
And
that makes sense.
I'm
Yeah,
quite shocked that I'm saying this is my worst livery of 2023, considering the Alpha Tauri.
I'd still say the AlphaTauri is worse, just because I think that AlphaTauri could be so much better than the Alpine.
so the Alpine could be so much better than the Alpine.
I feel like your
Alpine
handicaps
showed it could be so much better.
Yeah.
but
Pull
you
that one
haven't-
up.
You haven't
Like
seen the
this.
cars.
Look at that. It's beautiful.
It's so much better.
I'm not keen on the pink. I think it's just for
it's
me.
better.
It is better, but for me, it's just the wrong shade of pink.
It's just it seems so much more cohesive as a design, by virtue of the fact that you're not dealing with 3 distinct elements. You've just got 2 continuous elements of one is the pink, one is the black.
And I
Yeah.
really like sort of French flag that they've done down the nose.
Yeah.
They
I think that
usually
looks
do
quite
that.
smart. Like they can't do it on the blue. It's just a strip of pink.
They tried.
Or at least I think that's a strip of pink. It looks like there might be other colours there.
It is a French flag,
Oh. Ugh.
which means they have not gone French national blue. Disgraceful behavior.
But yeah, no, I much prefer. I would rather they just ran that all season.
So, for those who have slept under a rock, they're running this for the first 3 rounds of this season.
We're getting it for 3 rounds.
3
Yes.
rounds.
Got it for 2 last year.
Yeah.
Huzzah!
So what we're seeing is it's going up by a round every year. So we just got to wait another 20 years,
And
and it'll be the whole season.
It'd be back to Renault at that point.
It'll be Lotus by that point.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind if they went back to Renault and brought back the yellow cars.
I did like the yellow cars.
Yellow and
They-
black is a great color combo.
Bees.
Or
True.
Lotus with the black and
Yeah, black and gold.
Lotus with the black and gold car.
That's when Renault returns, black and yellow livery, Sebastian Vettel's B Foundation's main sponsor.
Yes.
Done.
So
We've
much
just changed the course of F1 future. But like, just chef's kiss.
No,
There's so much.
I prefer the pink they had in the Aston when they sponsored the Aston, like the dark metallic pink. I love that pink.
I don't know. I prefer this pink. It's just
I
more
much preferred the pink that
vibrant.
was on the Racing Point.
This is closer to that
Yeah.
compared
Yeah,
to what was
the
on the
race-
Aston.
The Racing Point aced the pink.
Yeah.
Racing
Glossy
Point that
pink.
was a little bit darker, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a
Mm,
gloss finish as
Wrong.
well.
Yeah.
colour.
Yeah.
That's more matte.
Yeah, I
I
like the
think
Racing Point.
I think the only thing that I'd say that I'd like to change on this is I'd probably make the halo black.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that.
Just because from the front it's very samey. Just that point of contrast in the middle with just making this section literally just from where it joins the bodywork up and to where it meets almost where the headrest goes in, just that section black. Change the sponsor font to white,
Sorted.
change the Alpine on the top to white. You can keep all of the inside bit the same. Done. That is the only thing I would change.
The only other thing I would change, I would make the wheel covers match.
At least you'll
don't
be
know
able to
why.
tell when they put the wrong wheel on.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like the non-matching wheel covers.
I haven't seen that. Oh my god, that's awful.
It's on both cars, by the way. That's
Yeah.
a season-long thing.
Oh,
Like that, I would make them match.
Yeah.
But I would have the blue with the pink on that car, and I would have the pink with the blue on that car.
Yeah.
So the
Let's
rear
just
wheel
keep it.
ones on this car,
Yeah,
I just
and the
keep the
front
pink
wheel
and the
ones.
front wheel ones on that car.
I'd also sack off the BWT sponsor. It looks awful.
That's the whole reason the pink's there, Ben.
Yeah, that's what
It's the
brings you the
whole
pink car.
reason why the car's awful. Just get rid of it.
That's a good point, yeah.
It's so ugly.
I mean, you can either view it as the problem or the solution. Ben is currently viewing it as the problem.
By far.
Without the BWT logo, we would not have this lovely pink car.
That's fine by me.
Yeah. And me. I'm not too keen on the pink car.
We're split down the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I really like this one, but I
Mm.
absolutely detest this one.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest. I kind of prefer that one.
Really?
Yeah. Just because it's a bit more pleasing for my eye because of the blue.
That
With
one
the
might
pink.
grow on me as the season goes on, but
Yeah.
right now I don't
But
like it.
the pink is just too much, if that makes sense. Like, it's too
Think about-
bright.
Think about how good it's going to look under the floodlights in Bahrain, though.
To be honest, that's going to make it even worse for me.
BWT has actually ruined Alpine. The 2021 car and 2020 car, sorry. So much better. With just the blue and white and red. And it works and it's clean and it's beautiful. Unlike blue.
So
Okay.
what we're saying here is Ben hates sponsors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Sack
Ben
it
doesn't
off.
like BWT, and we all don't like Orlan. Now, we're not saying we
Yeah.
don't like them as a company. We just don't like what they've done to the Alpha Tauri.
Oh, it's
Put us away, please.
imagine if Orlan also sponsored Alpine as well.
Oh,
It
God.
should be like the worst car in F1
Pink, blue, and
history.
red.
But
Oh,
having
my
seen
God.
the Alpha Tauri again, I think I actually agree with Ben that the Alpha Tauri is the worst on the grid.
I'd say that's like the 9th best.
We need to do a tier
in
list.
Alpine, but that's...
We can do that on Turn 5 Live at some point this weekend.
If that happens, oh yeah, we're doing the loop.
do it at some point during the live stream.
That
Exactly.
We're gonna be live for long enough.
Yeah, there's 24 hours of live
we
streaming coming
we
up.
can do one each. We have enough time.
Yeah.
Maybe if I'm there long enough. If I
I'm
don't
I'm down to do one each. I've got a blank tier list ready.
If
Oh
I don't,
yeah, I'd happily do a tier list.
if I don't have COVID, then I'll be there long enough to do one each. If not, I have a job. 2
Right.
jobs.
But yeah, that wraps up the.
It's car
that
launch
one
season
was-
done.
There
Yes.
was
There was
one
big
other thing.
news today.
No.
Actually,
Lance
there's 2
Stroll.
other things then.
Oh,
Yeah,
God,
Lance
wait.
Stroll has injured himself.
I'm now really worried about what Ben's news is.
Yeah, you keep talking over Ben.
Well, sadly for McLaren, they've got off to a absolute shocker of a start because they've had Jeremy Hunt.
Oh, that.
£50,000 fine.
the-
£50,000
Yeah,
fine. He's touched.
That's what I was thinking. They had him visit about boosting education to help our economy, and he's touched a rear wing there. So that's a
Mass.
50 grand
Fifty
fine.
thousand pound fine.
Clear as day.
Who would touch a rear wing like that? He's like pinching it.
Yeah, I do.
The only thing he's pinching is taxpayers' money.
In real Formula One news,
He kind
Yeah,
of
Ben,
reminds me
please,
of
please,
How's
please
that
get this
not-
off my screen.
He kind of reminds me of a child who still doesn't know how
Shocking.
to pick up things yet.
Shocking, isn't it? 50 grand fine.
in
May
real
take it all.
in real Formula One news, Lance Stroll has injured his wrist and will therefore miss the preseason test in Bahrain, and is not guaranteed to make it to the race.
Oh no.
Sources in Barcelona, where he sustained his injury, said that he actually came out of the clinic in a cast, and so it is looking unlikely that he will race in Bahrain.
Cast is 4 weeks absolute minimum. Speaking from personal experience.
Yes, 4 to 6 weeks usually.
And that's just to get up to everyday stuff. That is not athlete level putting strain through. Because imagine the amount of force you need to turn it. We've all seen those videos where they're in the machine and it's and they're doing the really like rapid, hardcore like turning, and it's like that would end me.
Yeah.
Period. I'd do 3 and I'd be on the floor in a puddle with like 2 broken wrists and a broken ankle somehow. Even though that exercise has nothing to do with my legs.
Aston have not announced who will run a test, whether it will just be Alonso or if they will give Rogovic or who's their other drivers? Or Stoffel.
I'd say
I find that so amusing, by the way. Aston Martin signing Stoffel Van Dorn as a reserve driver to the same team as Alonso, who is the man who ended his Formula One career in the first place.
I think if I was Aston Martin, I would put Stoffel in the car for the test because he has Formula One experience.
I'd say maybe put Felipe in so he gets the Formula One experience.
My thing is that with it being the test, the feedback is so important.
True.
Yeah, but you've got Alonso on the other side of the garage.
Oh, yeah.
Felipe is also there for the future as well.
They might just run Alonso. Like,
true.
He might do all 6 sessions because that's what McLaren had to do when Ricciardo was unavailable.
That is true.
Norris just absolutely blitzed every session.
And to be fair, Norris did a very good job.
He did. And it was a
shame. I cannot imagine how tiring that must have been.
Yeah, 24 hours in the car over the space of 3 days.
Yeah, no, thank you.
When you consider in a race weekend, they spend what? An hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. If you get through to Q3, 4 hours.
Q4?
Q4, new
the top 2 shootout.
If you get through to Q3, there's 4 hours.
So about 6, 7.
It's probably 7 when you include the time for like laps to the grid and stuff on race day.
Yeah.
In the car. And he done 24 hours in 3 days. That's just madness.
3 Grand Prix experiences.
Yeah. Not just 3 Grand Prix experiences. 3 Grand Prix weekend experiences.
Yeah, true.
So
that's 9 days worth of cars in 3.
Yeah.
I think he knows wheel now.
He does. And then he
qualified 5 years.
I'd hope he knows wheel by now.
But yeah, so that hasn't been announced by Aston Martin yet. Time will tell. Well, it might be announced actually by the time this is published, by the time of recording.
Most likely.
Because when would ever things happen in a timely fashion? I know the news of Lance's injury only came out today, but like, give us some answers.
Yeah, just tell us at the same time. Just make the decision there and then.
You know he's not going to be available.
Yeah, exactly.
Stroll will go in the car.
Pick a point.
Lawrence Stroll to drive. I found it very
in the
exciting
contract.
to go
A
round
Stroll
track.
has to drive the car at least.
It's like in Cars 3. As long as it's the same number, it's fine.
But yeah, that happened. Now shall we talk about testing actually starting?
Sure.
Yeah. So we'll obviously give you a rundown on Thursday when we go live and stuff, but the format is as follows. All 5 sets of tyres are available at all times. There is only 1 car per team in each session. So there will only be a maximum of 10 drivers per session. However, you might find they swap at lunchtime. Some teams might not. They might do a day each. Just depends. And it's round the Bahrain Grand Prix circuit. I think they should have spiced it up and ran pre-season testing round the outer loop. Just, why not?
I don't know how much that would help though.
That's the funny thing.
We're not here to help them.
That's true. That's true.
We're
We're here to
cause
entertain the
chaos.
fans.
You've won me over.
With my really abject sentiment of
Yeah.
don't help them.
But yeah, obviously no World Championship points are up for grabs. And the most important thing, times are not indicative.
But
Sandbagging.
still use them. Every year.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Just don't forget, we got to do all of our predictions all over again.
Yep. Next week we will absolutely spend great lengths dissecting each and every time posted by all of the cars.
That's
And then
completely meaningless to us.
come the Saturday, it'll all change.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know what tyres are available in Bahrain for the actual race?
Can't remember what it was last year. I can have a quick look.
I think it's the middle set. I think it's 2, 3, and 4.
Wait, so we got to do predictions next week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we could spice it up and do predictions right now
No,
before testing
Absolutely not.
no, we
and
did
see
that
if
last
anything
year.
changes.
We did that last year, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah, we had preparation for that time.
I think we go for it.
Oh,
No. Vetoed.
Even just teams then.
No. Still vetoed. I want content for later episodes.
You'll have the same thing.
Yeah, but we've got enough content in
Nice
this
one.
episode.
They Drive to Survive's out Friday as well.
Oh, yeah.
God, no.
Forgot about that. I didn't even
Yeah.
watch last season.
I didn't either.
I did.
I watched this season.
I watched all of it apart from the last episode because I got bored.
I'll read some reviews and see if it's worth watching.
Probably not.
This is Richard trying to find things.
Me trying to guess what document it's going to be in.
Oh, I know exactly what document it's on.
What is it?
Race Director's Event Notes.
Oh, good. That's the one I'm on.
It's usually the last page.
Cool. Oh, C1 to 3.
Oh, C1 to 3. Interesting.
Hardest set.
So the likelihood is they will run that again.
I would imagine so. Since when do they change things?
Sure. So if we will look at lap times, but looking at lap times posted on the C5 is completely irrelevant to how the weekend might go.
They're going to be a lot quicker than the
Are
C3.
not available.
That face when the fastest lap in testing is faster than the race.
I mean, to be fair though, they might not actually be faster because they could degrade too quickly around the lap.
End of a session, end of the day. Might be cool enough to...
Someone goes fastest on the C1s.
What?
That's the joy of testing.
Haas goes 6 seconds a lap faster on C1s than Red Bull on C5s.
And yet the tyres do look slightly different in testing. obviously there's 5 compounds available. So the C1 will just have the white Pirelli writing and no little like swooshes.
They call them brackets.
Well, no brackets, yes. The C2 will look like the hard tire, C3 the medium tire, C4 the soft, and the C5 will have red Pirelli writing and no brackets.
I'm
I say
sure I've
bring
got a
back the rainbow
diagram of that
tyres.
somewhere. She's on
Is
board!
that
Bring
Neil?
back the rainbow tyres.
Yes, bring back the rainbow.
Bring back the rainbow.
The
I'm sure I've got a
orange
diagram for
super
that
hard
somewhere.
tires that no one ever ran, but they were there anyway.
Keep the same compound, just add an orange and a purple or something. I don't know.
Bring back the pink tires.
Hyper.
Hyper soft. And of course, just in case, the intermediate and wets are available, and they look the same as every year, green and blue.
Get the sprinklers on.
That's only
They did
Paul
that at
Ricard.
Spain last year. They took around
Yeah.
Yeah,
trucks, didn't they?
They did.
Dumped a water truck around Spain and it lasted all of like 3 laps.
Yeah, last around 1 lap.
At least it
now.
gave them some running on the inters and
Right.
wets.
Mm.
Do you think they'd actually sort out the wet weather tire this year? Or
Unlikely.
Well,
the same?
They did announce an investigation into like the usefulness of the wet weather tire after we just kept seeing the inters last year.
Yeah.
And then them going, oh, it's too wet to run the extreme wets. So yeah, they did announce that they were going to look into it for this season.
Good. Because
Yeah.
otherwise, I feel like a lot of people will become more fluent in Ferrari.
The only way we might see the inters, I think, is if there's a massive sandstorm again and they need to clear the track quickly. They could just send them out for a couple of laps on inters to scoop it up.
Which
I
is just
think
hilarious.
they had that in F2 or F3 testing last week. I wanna say
Unfortunately,
it's F2.
Unfortunately, they don't have the intermediate tire.
Do they not?
It's
Full
it's
wets or
slick
nothing.
or full wet.
No fun.
So,
Nothing.
so might have been it.
They had it in Formula One testing 2 years ago, I think it was. But I think they just went out in the slicks. It was quite funny to watch. Because they were having the massive peacock tails that they usually have, but on slicks. It's quite weird.
And the cars were
see.
coming in with less paint and bodywork than
Yeah.
they went out with.
Yeah, 'cause it was all just
F2,
covered by
I
sand.
think I want to say they're on the wet tires because it looks like there's a ton of
Are
tread.
they blue?
So we find out Ben's
There is
compromised.
no writing. There is no writing on the side. I'll get it up on.
Can you
here.
put the picture
Zoom
up?
in enhance.
That's
Put it
what
on the
I'll-
Discord or
know.
something.
I get it on my computer.
And the good news is, because it's a pre-season session, there are no stewards documents to be reviewed. Oh,
Okay, bang. You see there's a lot more tread on the tire.
No.
it's quite laggy, so no, can't really see anything.
Right, well, I know where to find it now. To
Yeah.
Twitter.
Thanks, Richard.
I'm
Ben,
not
have
going
you
to say it's
optimized
looking
this for
look
video
any...
clip?
Yeah.
Because it was very poor.
Sky Wi-Fi go. brrr.
Yeah.
I can't actually guarantee that mine's going to be much better, but actually, that was someone
Formula
someone did a
dos.
test pit stop on the slicks. They're on slicks, but that looks like a different video.
Yeah, it looks
That's
like there's a lot of
definitely
tread.
sucks. The other thing is, that might not have been actually going out for the session.
Yeah.
Formula 2 and Formula 3 use like transfer tires for when they're going from one paddock to the Formula 1 pit lane. And
No,
I
this
think
isn't.
they look like wets.
I think no, it's not
Sauber,
completely.
the Sauber Academy gets the same livery as the Sauber car.
Yeah.
Get on. But yeah, those are very heavily treaded tires. But
I'm certain those are transfer tires
yeah, there's no
because they're not
Pirelli
Pirelli
markings on them.
branded. So yeah, I think those are
But at the
the
same
transfer
time,
tires.
that does say getting our first taste of 2023, and everyone seems to be heading out on track. So,
But they could be going from one paddock to the other sort of thing, like because there was no TV
but
cameras
why
invited
wouldn't they just be in the F1 paddock anyway? Like, there's no F1 there,
Well,
because
they can
Formula
just keep.
3 are also taking part.
so they'd be in the support paddock.
I think it's for timing purposes and stuff. They would still operate out of the Formula 1 pit lane for the sessions.
There's a lot of blue on this image.
Just another random thing. Yeah. Michelle
that is also the nicest car in all of the categories.
Bronze.
I
That is a
never
nice looking
thought
car.
I'd say a bronze car looks the best, but it looks incredible.
Well, you know how to change your My Team in F1 22.
Well, that's if you actually played My Team 22.
Done one race.
One
maybe.
race, and you're like, can't be fucking
good, thanks.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of blue on the inside of that tyre, which does make it look like a full wet. But there's clearly no sand or anything on the track. So why would they be running full wets?
Banter?
Funny, isn't it? Breaking news, first session of Formula 1 testing to be run entirely on full wets. Just to see what they look like. But yeah, that's enough tyre talk, I'd say. Is that us?
I think it is.
Oh, wait.
No,
One
it's
small
not.
piece of news that came out. The pyramid for how to get to Formula One has been firmed up with the addition of the Formula One Academy.
Oh,
It
yes.
slots in below the Formula Regional Championships. So FRECA will be worth more super license points than the F1 Academy. So it basically slots in roughly the same place as W Series.
So, I mean, they have announced more drivers as well. I'll just pull that up real quick.
Still no calendar, though.
No calendar, but drivers.
Here's who'll be driving.
Okay.
We don't know when. We don't know where. But they're
What did
driving.
we get to? Bianca Bustamante, we did. So Jessica Edgar is driving for Carlin. And Nerea Marti is driving for Campos. And Carrie Schreiner is driving for ART. And Abby Pulling is also driving for Carlin. And that's your lot.
Yeah, some names that I recognise in there. Abby Pulling for one.
Well,
W
I think
Series.
the only one I don't recognise, and maybe that's just because I wasn't paying too much attention to the midfield, was the German one. But everything else was W Series.
I don't think the German one was part of W Series.
That might be why.
Yeah.
So,
but it'll be good to see how the series goes if
I mean,
they show it on TV and stuff. Like, I guess we'll see.
It's going to pose the question of, is W Series going to continue? Like, where
We've
have they got any
heard
drivers left?
We've still heard nothing. Not a peep.
From seeing how a lot of the drivers, well, some of the drivers are already going to F1 Academy, I think W Series is dead.
They're put into the go-kart series.
Like, W Series is supposed to be a Formula 1 support series. The Formula 1 season starts next week.
Yeah.
And we've heard nothing.
They would have announced drivers by now, I think.
Or even a provisional calendar.
Yeah, so I think W Series is gone.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Well, I mean, we say that, but F1 Academy has only really just announced like 6 or 7 drivers, and there's 15 slots. So they've only just about announced half the grid. They've not announced any calendars. They've not announced anything more than this is the spec of car we're going to be using. We haven't seen the car.
In
And
they've
fairness,
only
F1
just
Academy was only
confirmed.
announced last month.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it is their first season, and they've only just been announced. But like, yeah,
But still, like, times are ticking.
And from
I
what
don't-
we understand, it's not a full Formula One support series. It's only going to be at one Grand Prix, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what they said when they announced it.
Something like that, I think.
yeah, it
Um,
seems like it's going to be how it was when W Series started, just be in Britain or Europe.
Yeah. And so I think it'll probably be Silverstone. If it's going to any Grand Prix, it's going to be Silverstone.
Yeah,
Um, no British bias here, but it just makes sense.
although
Like,
how many
It's
people,
the home of motorsport.
how many support series are also in Silverstone?
well,
A
last
lot.
year there was 4.
Ah,
This year there's only 3 confirmed, so there is space
True.
in the schedule.
Depends what F1 Academy schedule is as well, and it hasn't been released, but it could be similar to how F3, F2 is, rather than how W Series was.
Yeah, I hope it is similar to the like weekend format than the F2 and F3 run, because it would give them more time on track. That was one of my main criticisms of W Series was they were done on the Saturday.
Yeah.
I
They
think
didn't race
that
at
was
all on the Sunday.
it was. I think that was probably mainly due to W Series budget reasons.
But like the Sunday
But
is the day that most eyes at the track and away from
yeah,
it were on the track.
yeah,
Um,
but
and they just didn't race.
but
Apart from the
now,
odd race.
yeah, apart from like double headers,
Yeah.
but now they have to pay to enter, so they definitely have the budget to
And it's being
do.
bankrolled by Formula
Yeah,
One. So like
so that I think
they
now they definitely
probably
will have the money to do it.
like the series won't have to pay Formula One anything for its space on that Grand Prix like schedule, I don't think, because it is Formula One's series. They're running it. So they just go, well, you're coming with us. Here you go. There's some time on track. It would make a Sunday in Silverstone even busier if they were to race on the Sunday. It would take up to 5 races, because right now we've got Formula 3 first thing in the morning at about 10:30, I think it was this year. You had Formula 2. Then at about 12, there was Porsche Super Cup. And then obviously the Grand Prix at about 3. That's a busy day already. It will be quite a squeeze to fit in another race, but I'm sure they can do it. Just remove some of the added stuff.
Who
Like
needs hot laps?
Well, Paddock Club doesn't need their 6th lorry tour of the weekend. Just scrap
True.
that.
They paid for that.
Yeah, but
And
if you're
we
Paddock
paid to,
Club, you're probably there all weekend anyway. So just go on the Saturday.
and we paid to watch racing, not a
Not,
lorry.
yeah, true.
Yeah, and here
Well,
comes the
there's
lorry.
some things where that's one and the same.
True.
Actually, I've
True.
got it. Just make the Paddock Club lorries race each other.
That would be quite fun.
That's amazing. Ben, pitch it.
I mean, to be fair,
Like-
on a Thursday, the safety car and the medical car have a race.
Like, the people who pay for Paddock Club deserve it in the first place.
Just holding on, because it's an open back lorry. Just
Yeah,
holding on for
no
dear
seat
life.
belts. Yeah.
I think there is actual like HDB racing. I think in
Oh, there is.
Oh,
in
yeah, yeah.
Pembrokeshire, isn't? I think.
There's racing trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I think
brilliant.
There's
in-
probably a world
It's
championship.
nuts.
I
The
think
way
there's
they take the curbs is obscene.
I think it's in Pembrokeshire and like close to me, so I'm really tempted to go.
We expect some content.
That's if I do go, because I've told you how much is in my bank account.
I don't know if they still do the high-speed track test on a Formula One weekend, but they used to. It was basically just to test all the systems and that. So they would just line the safety car and the medical car up on the grid, put the lights on, and go.
What, may as well?
Yeah, and it looked like good fun. Hopefully, if they do still run it and it's on the Thursday, the people who get into Silverstone on the Thursday get to watch. That will be fun to watch. I'll try and get some footage of it if they do it. But time will tell, really.
Get footage of Bert Mylander smoking Alan van der Merwe.
It's not Alan van der Merwe. He lost his
Alan's gone.
he lost his medical car drive in 2021 when COVID vaccination became a requirement to take part in
Yeah,
Formula
yeah.
One.
I completely missed that bit of news. Wow.
Yeah, it's
I remember him
not Alan.
I remember him posting about how he was against vaccinations and all that, but I didn't realise he actually did get replaced.
Yeah, he
Damn.
got sacked.
Damn.
Did you know he beat Lewis Hamilton in equal machinery?
Did you know so did
Yeah,
George
do you know
Russell?
what? That's why he didn't get the vaccine. He had to sit in his apartment for 9 months on Sky Sports F1. So, oh, we go live to Nico at his house.
What's the point?
This guy.
Think of all
Yeah.
that money they could have saved instead of setting up stuff for Nico. And we could have actually had some better content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He provided some insight sometimes,
Other
and other
times,
times
no.
it was just utter dross. Bring back Paul di Resta.
No. Oh, no. No.
That was
No.
just for memes.
No. 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 No amount of memes will ever be worth the pain.
Of
Paul
Paul
di
di
Resta.
Resta. But yeah, please do join us on Thursday, bright and early if you want to, 0650 GMT for the start of the Formula One season. The green light will come on in the pit lane at 7 a.m. Hopefully, that's if they don't mess up anything, and we'll just run from there.
Hooray.
But
Yeah.
come join us, come have a waffle. Like it'll be great. It'll be great fun.
You must provide your own waffles.
Yeah,
Waffles
waffle
will not
as
be
in
provided for you. I know.
waffle
I know
as
what
in
you meant. I
random
was just
chat.
making a joke.
Other foodstuffs are available.
Other breakfast foods available at your local retailer.
Yes,
Well, it doesn't just have to be a breakfast waffle.
True.
true. It could be a lunch waffle.
Can we stop with this waffle, please?
Yeah,
End the
it's good.
podcast.
You want to stop
I'm
with the
tired.
waffle?
Yes.
What about a dinner
No.
waffle?
No, stop. I'm tired. I want to go to bed.
Nia's
Nia,
number
this is-
one line on Turn
but
5
Nia,
Live.
this is
I'm
content.
tired and want to go to bed.
Yes. I
Anyway,
have work
yeah,
tomorrow.
please do join us bright and early on Thursday morning if you feel up to it. If not, just drop in at some point. We should, internet's allowing, be live all through testing. Hopefully one of us will be free for all of the sessions.
And then I go live on Thursday evening, so I'm going to have a really long day.
Yeah. I will be joining you for Thursday morning. I don't know.
I'll be there for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday morning. Maybe
I'll do
Friday morning.
I'll do all day Saturday, but that's all I can do.
And Richard?
Thursday morning, part of Thursday afternoon, but not sure because I've got a lab session for 2 hours. Cry. Should be there for most of Friday, if not all of Friday, and all of Saturday morning, but might have to leave Saturday afternoon early.
It's like this is like Sky Sports when it's like, when's Crofty on? Because they don't even leave their commentators unattended for that length of time. But yeah, I'll be doing hopefully all of Thursday and Friday morning. The rest of the weekend is down to these guys because I have uni and work, sadly. But anyway, thank you very much for watching this episode of the Turn 5 podcast. We will see you on Thursday. Ta-ra for now.